Welcome one and all back to the Desert Borealis YouTube channel. My name's Tasha and I'm the wife, mother, dyer, designer, and knitter behind all things Desert Borealis. Thank you so much for being here. This is episode 6 of the Desert Borealis podcast, and today I have one finished object to share with you, 5 whips, some things that are going into hibernation, and some things straight from the dye pots. So go ahead, sit back, relax, maybe even do some knitting, and let's get into it. For the first finished object, I don't actually have it. It is my bunny Lovey that I was working on last week. I'll put a picture of the bunny Lovey and what it looked like finished right here. I used 2 different kinds of yarns. One of them was Yarn Bee Everyday in the color Sky, and the other one was, let's see, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek in the color White. Now, the bunny parts was a free pattern, or is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just under the name Bunny Lovey Parts, and that is by Victoria Stewart. And then the blanket portion was a few rounds from the Rainbow Ripple Baby Blanket by Celeste Young. On the bunny, I used a 3.75 millimeter hook, and on the blanket, I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. That's the only thing that I had finished this week, but I did work on 5 different things. So the first thing that I want to share with you that I worked on this week was my Triangulum Blanket by Ellie Jones. Now this I am working in fingering weight using size 2 2.75 millimeter needles, double point needles, and my goal was to finish 10 of these, but I only got 1 done. Okay, here is my triangle. Let's see. This one right here. This is my triangle that I finished this week, and as you can see, I actually did cast on another triangle, but I never got around to finishing it. So I didn't reach my goal of 10, but I did make some progress. In the month of July, I was able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I finished 11 triangles in the month of July, so not too bad. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove all of my progress keepers and stitch markers that I had there for the month of July. Okay, so this was my Triangulum Blanket. And this is actually going to go into hibernation for the month of August. Honestly, working on this didn't bring me much joy. I need to find a new way to work this because I don't really like working with double point needles, but I've got over 2,500 of these triangles to go. So I am going to put this away for a month, work on some other things that are a little more nagging on my brain right now that I really want to get done, and I'm just gonna set this aside because it's just a scrappy blanket that I'm making for myself. It's not being made for anyone, and I would really like to just get everything that I need to, or that I have started making for other people, done, and then maybe I can relax more into scrappy projects. But for right now, this is going into hibernation, and maybe I will be able to pull it out in the month of September, try it out on Magic Loop, and see if that ignites a new passion for wanting to work on the Triangulum Blanket. Part of the reason is I think I just put too much pressure on myself for finishing a lot, well, not a lot, but working on a lot of things and finishing 2 kind of big ticket items in the month of July. My Neon Fade sweater, which I finished, and my January Hedgehog fiber socks. So finishing those was the main goal, and then also having a goal of trying to work on 2 different scrappy blankets through the month of July. I know maybe a lot of people could handle all of that, but I really struggled, especially when it came to the Triangulum Blanket. But when it came to the Northeasterly Blanket, I actually had a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and look at that whip right now. Okay, here is my Northeasterly Blanket, and this is where I was last week. And the goal for this was to finish row 3 and start row 4. And as you can see, since it is on Berber cord, I did finish row 3. If we go all the way down here, lots of ends. I actually did get row 4 not only going, but I made about 4 or 5 inches of progress. Now, this is the Northeasterly Blanket by Skenanigans, and I am working this on a ChiaoGoo size 7 4.5 millimeter needle, and this is fingering weight scraps held double. Now, this blanket is going to be massive when it is done, and I don't know what it is, the difference between this and the Triangulum. Actually, maybe I do know why. I really like the fact that I don't have to cast on all the time. With the Triangulum blanket, it's not a big deal to cast on for every triangle, but I mean, it does take some time and extra brain power. But with this, I have quite a ways to knit before I have to add in or cast on for the next row. This, however, is going to go into hibernation as well for the month of August, and that is because I really want to get another sweater done that has been in a hibernation since 2023. But right now we're not going to talk about that sweater. We're actually going to go to whip number 4, which are not the Triangulum pants. No. The Tan Line Joggers by Little Wolf Knits. Actually, before we get into that, I'm going to hurry and take out all of the progress keepers for the month of July. So just to show you, this is where I started in the month of July, and all of this in this row is the progress that I made, as well as casting on and completing this much of the 4th round. But, so that's actually quite a fair amount. So now I just need to remove all my progress keepers. Okay, and now I can put this away and we can talk about the Tan Line Joggers. These are my Tan Line Joggers. The pattern is by Little Wolf Knits. The yarn that I am using is Cherry Bomb that I dyed myself. I am using ChiaoGoo size 4 3.5 millimeter needles, and I am knitting the size 6. That's what matched my size and my gauge. I didn't meet her gauge. I found what gauge I felt comfortable with for this pattern, and then I found the size that would give me the gauge that I wanted, or the numbers that I wanted. This project I work on with my daughter while we listen to audiobooks. This is where I was at the beginning of July, and each week you can see my progress, and then I did make 2 rounds of progress. Not much, but progress is progress. These are not going into hibernation. I am still going to be working on these with my daughter while we listen to whatever Agatha Christie book. Right now we're on Perot Investigates. Perot Investigates, yep. And so there's no deadline on these. It's just simple, relaxing whenever we sit down to listen to an audiobook together. The next project that I have to show you is another bunny lovey, and like I said before, this pattern, the bunny lovey parts, are by Victoria Stewart. And this guy is a little misshapen, but so far I have most of the head, and I've stopped here. I do need to add or embroider the face on here. This yarn is, let's see. Okay, so the yarn I am using is Yarn Bee Pearl Spun in the color Pearl, and then for the blanket portion, I'm going to be using Yarn Bee Pearl Spun in Gunmetal. So I'm going to use the gunmetal for most of it, and then I'll use whatever pearl I have left as the stripes in the blanket. And I will be using the Rainbow Ripple baby blanket for the blanket part of this bunny lovey. This project is going to go in hibernation for the month of August as well, because I want to work on finishing, hopefully by the end of August, the next whip that I'm going to show you. And this is my husband's Mick Aston look-alike sweater that I've been working on since 2023. So let's take a look at that. This is a Mick Aston look-alike sweater, and Mick Aston is an archaeologist on the British TV show called Time Team, and we love watching it as a family. My husband has wanted one of these sweaters for a long time, and I set out in 2023 to make it for him for Christmas, but obviously that didn't happen, or we wouldn't be having this conversation. This is definitely a whip that stresses me out, and only because I wanted to have it gifted to him so long ago and it's still not done. It's not that making it stresses me out, it's just that I feel bad that I haven't finished it yet. So for the month of August, I want to finish this completely, and that's kind of a big ticket item, a lofty goal, let's say, because I have the back, the front, and the sleeves to do. And I don't know if you can see, but this is fingering weight. So this baby is taking quite a long time. I'm working this on US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles, and the goal for last week, I did share this with you guys last week, and the goal for last week was to weave in all of the ends. And I'm so happy because I did. I wove in all of the ends. But then I started knitting more on it. So here is this is my stitch marker for the month of August. So August 1st, I put this stitch marker in, and this is how much I have completed just in 2 days. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the episode. Today's Saturday, August 2nd, and it's about 5:30 in the afternoon. If you caught my planning my knitting for the month of August, I did all of the math, and I found out that I need to do about 32 rounds per day to be able to finish the sweater, theoretically, by the end of August. So this is, like I said, where I was July 31st. I finished the pink, and the yellow and all of this is what I have done August 1st and 2nd. I haven't really counted up the rows to see if I'm on track, but by far the back panel, which I'm working on, and then the front panel, those are going to definitely take longer than the sleeves because I am slower purling than I am knitting. Yeah. And so since I'm working flat, I have to knit and then purl. So it does go slightly slower, and there are a whole lot more stitches than there will be on the sleeves. And the sleeves I'm going to be working from the shoulder down. So the sleeves will actually get quicker as I move forward, which will be really nice. But so far, I think I'm making pretty okay progress. I mean, August 2nd isn't over yet, so I'm planning on knitting more on this. I'm almost becoming a monogamous knitter for the month of August just to get this done. But as you can see, there are a lot of colors in this sweater. Let's see. Well, we have, I'll try. So I'll just start here. We have white, then we have aqua, then we have red, then I think this one, let me see. Okay, this one is pastel turquoise, and then artisan gold, royal blue, cherry red, medium blue. Ooh, what's this one? Orange. This is sweet pea. And then we're back to aqua, and then we have pink, deep wisteria. I think this one is called baby blue. This is deep teal, I believe. Yeah, so it's kind of, I have a picture of McAston that I've just pulled up from the web that I'm kind of going through and loosely choosing the colors off of this. So all of these colors are Cascade 220 Superwash Fingering. It's 100% superwash merino wool, and unfortunately I do think I'm going to have to buy a couple of other skeins to finish this, because colors like aqua appeared a lot in the body and they also appear a lot in the sleeves. So I am going to need to order a couple more skeins to be able to finish this in the month of August. As for my goal recap of what my goals were last week and what I plan on working on this week, last week my goals were to weave in all the ends on this, which I did. So that was a goal accomplished. My other goal was to finish and gift the bunny Lovey that I made, and I was able to do that. I wasn't able to make 10 triangles on my Triangulum Blanket, but I was able to complete my fourth goal, which was to finish the third row on my Northeasterly and start the fourth row. So I'm very happy with 75% success rate on finishing my goals for last week. Moving in to this next week, what I plan on doing is honestly just working on this. My big lofty goal, and I think if the numbers work out, what you should see next week is not only the back of this sweater done, but also the front of the sweater done. I think I even may be able to join the shoulder seams. I'm planning on grafting the shoulders together with the Kitchener stitch. So hopefully, if all goes well, knock on wood, that I will be able to have the back and the front done by next week to be able to show you guys. On my oh my goodness, Triangulum pants. They are not Triangulum pants. Tan Line Joggers. My Tan Line Joggers, I would love to just be able to knit on those, because that means that I was able to spend time with my daughter. So no real definite goals, but if I did put a goal on it, maybe I would like to have an inch of progress made on those by next podcast, by episode 7. Another goal that I have is to knit and crochet samples so that they are ready to go on my listing for some yarn that I have dyed up. And let me show you that right now. I'm just going to show you everything that I've been dyeing up this week. Okay, so this is Anime Eggplant, and it is a 6 skein speckle fade, and it will be offered in my shop in a few weeks, but the goal this week is to at least get the knit and crochet samples finished and photographed for the listing. Now, if you love the color of Anime Eggplant, then go ahead and make sure you subscribe to my channel, because on August 7th, I will be dropping a tutorial on exactly how to dye Anime Eggplant. Some other things that I have dyed this week, my daughter is making another Lindahl Skort, and she is holding these two colors. This is Midnight Sky, and this is Black. So she's holding these two together marled, and then she has another one of my one-of-a-kind colors that I dyed last year that she's doing for the stripes in the Lindahl skirt, but these are the background. Next week, August 6th, is going to be the first episode of Slim the Stash, and that's just where I show you everything that has gone out of my stash for the previous month. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure that you are all geared up on August 6th to watch that. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment down below of what you're working on this week, and have a great week, and we'll see you real soon. Bye!